Okay, Chargers, let's look at one more example. And these are going to be our examples of how we determine the value of our functions when we're looking at a graph. So for our first one here, we have f of negative 2. Now remember, our function notation is f of x. And this is saying that this whole graph right here is our function f. So when we're looking at this picture of a graph, we're looking at where is x equal to negative 2. So when it says f of negative 2, it's asking us where is x equal to negative 2 and what is the y value. So the ultimate question that this is asking us right here is what is the y value? So that's what we're trying to establish. So on this first one, when we're looking at where x is equal to negative 2, we're going to look at our graph. So at negative 2, we're right here, and it's this point. So that point right there has an x value of negative 2. And now we need to determine what is the y value there. So our y value when x is equal to negative 2 is going to be a positive 1. So when our function is at negative 2, f of x, so f of negative 2, our entire function is equal to 1. The next question on this one is f of positive 2. So again, it's saying what is the y value when x is equal to positive 2? So we're going to look at our graph. When x is positive 2, we're looking at this point up here. So that point has an x value of positive 2, and we need to find out what is our y value. So our y value there is 1, 2, 3. So this point right here, when x is 2, our y is positive 3. So f of 2 is equal to 3. So let's look at our middle graph. And again, same question, what is the y value? It's telling us the x value. We need to find that point on that graph that has that x value and find out what the y value is there. So our first question is f of 3. So when x is equal to 3, what is our y value? So I'm going to look at 1, 2, 3. X is equal to 3 right up here. And we need to figure out that point has an x value of 3. What's our y value right there? So our y value is going to be up 1, 2. So when our x is equal to 3, y is equal to 2. So f of 3 is going to be equal to 2. Remember, that is the exact same thing as saying y equals 2 on this graph. When x equals 3, y equals 2. That's what that f of 3 notation means. Y when x is 3. So f of negative 3, we're going to go back 1, 2, 3. That's this point up here. And that point has an x value of negative 3. So now we need to find what our y value is right there. And 1, 2 up, our y value there is also 2. So f of negative 3 is equal to positive 2. And that is absolutely possible. You can have the exact same y value. It's okay if our y values repeat. Our x values can't repeat if it's a function, but our y values can repeat. So let's look at our last example here. And this is looking at f of 0, first of all. So when x is equal to 0, y is equal to what? That's what we're trying to find out. That's our question when we're looking at these. It's telling us what our x value is. We need to write in what the y value is. So when when x is 0, we have a point right here. And that is about halfway up. So we'll say that that is at when x is 0, y is 1/2. So when x is 0, y is equal to 1/2. That's where our point falls on this graph. Our next one is asking f of 3. So I'm going to look at where f is, or where x rather is equal to 3, so I can find out what y is equal to. So 1, 2, 3 on our x is right up here. And we have the arrow right there, so it's a little hard to tell, but we're going to say it looks like it's right about 1, 2, 3 for the y value. So when x is 3, we have a point on this graph where x is 3, y is also equal to 3. So f of 3 equals 3. So remember, when you're looking at a situation like this, it's telling you what the x value is, and it's asking you, when you find the point on this graph that has this x value, what is your y value? That is our ultimate question on these. What is the y value? Here's x, what's y?